We have Sanjay Singh, political editor of firstpost.com, with us in our studio. Sanjay, what do you make of the kind of turnout that we've had in phase 4? Overall, it looks decent. 64% is quite decent. But if you break it down to the states, the picture is encouraging in states like, say, Bihar, in Maharashtra, in Rajasthan, there's a slight improvement. Jharkhand, there's an improvement. But if you look at then a state like Madhya Pradesh, 65.77% this time around. Last time it was 79%. Odisha 68, last time 75.55. West Bengal 76.44 this time, 83.39 the last time. So this wild variance, what do you make of this?
I hope some of those differences, that difference in voter turnout that you are talking about, will perhaps be revised as and when that actual polling percentage
that does happen.
Distant areas come in. But if you look at overall percentage, poll percentage, this from first phase towards fourth phase of polling percentage has gradually improved. And so much, there also has been so much of talk. DD News is talking so much about it, so as others, and also some prominent personalities are also talking.
And that's creditable, because you have to give credit to the people of this country, to the voters, that in spite of the rising heat, because at the moment the way you go along with the phases, the heat has only been rising and it will only rise even further.
Yeah, precisely. And
that's a big factor.
Yeah, precisely. The people actually standing in queue, and if you look at it, if you go towards towards east. In South India, actually, election process has been completed in whole of South India. As you move towards east in these phases and previous phases, poll percentage was higher. Look at the numbers that you are showing. Orissa, West Bengal, when Northeast was there, yeah, the poll percentage was actually very, very high in Northeast. So popular enthusiasm was great deal. In fact, Bihar, to my consideration, is slightly low, close to 60%, 59.02% as you are showing as on now, as on 9 o'clock, I suppose.
58.92%, yes.
And that will improve a bit. And then Maharashtra, again, not very exciting figures, but Maharashtra, of course.
Overall, Maharashtra is still an improvement. It will only go up. It's 58.23%. The last time it was 55.59%.
One thing which I have noted, you move to rural areas and popular participation, actually the pictures that you show, barring some centers in urban areas, those numbers are actually very, very high in rural areas. Women folk in particular, they really take it as one big festival where they come out of their homes with their friends, families and so on, actually very dressed up, very cheerful, standing in queue for hours and then actually going out to vote. Male members, of course, are also there, but there, if you see, those numbers are actually very high. In urban areas, I don't know, for whatever reasons too, like in Bangalore and in Mumbai, polling percentage should have been higher than what it was.
Urban apathy has been found to be the guilty party in almost every election that we've had for so many decades now. But if you look at again, state-wise, there are states, like I said, there's a divergence. In some states, the percentage has improved marginally, if not dramatically. But in some other states, it's a dramatic downturn in the turnout. Do you think that is some kind of an indicator to the mandate in those states, particularly like Odisha, then of course, like I mentioned, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh even?
Difficult to say because it cuts both ways.
Because I doubt that difference will be made up, when the final figures come.
Yeah, precisely. That's a difficult call to take at this hour, because at times we have seen that larger polling percentage means that you are very, very dissatisfied with the incumbent and you want to throw that incumbent out. But there are also situations when there is a pro-incumbency vote and large number of voters actually come out to make that voter stay there in power.
Or perhaps you could say in a state like West Bengal or Madhya Pradesh, the pro-incumbency vote was high in the last election and this time it's lesser.
Pro-incumbency vote, in fact, last time if you look at it, the votes went to BJP in parliamentary election.
Yes.
State government, of course, were run by BJP in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, both these
At
states.
that time, but
and
now things have
Chhattisgarh.
changed.
Now things have changed. So when we are talking about incumbent in parliamentary election, we are talking about incumbent in parliament at the center, in this case Modi government. So it cuts both ways. So in some cases there is also people who actually say that no, this person has to return, and therefore in a state assembly elections as well in parliament they actually go to vote, ensure that the incumbent stays in power. I just wonder whether the 64% vote also has to do about the 9.79 polling percentage that has been there in J&K. If you discount that, maybe the number changes. If you add that, maybe.
Okay, true. Yeah, because there again the divergence is very high because of the security situation and the way elections have been structured there. But in terms of this entire phase, it was being said to be a phase where the BJP and its allies essentially looking to retain the kind of advantage that they got in 2014, 56 of the 72 seats in their kitty in 2014, and this time it was an opportunity for the opposition camp to claw some of its mandate back. How do you see this particular phase as poised?
See, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, where BJP had scored around 90-95% last time, where multi-phase election, fourth phase is taking place there. But addition of Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh adds kind of some additional spice to these elections, because if you look at entire all those states which went to poll, BJP is principal force there, either a challenger in West Bengal vis-a-vis Trinamool Congress, or BJD in Orissa, and in other states it is in direct contest with either Congress or Gathbandhan.
Mahagathbandhan, one farm or the other.
Yeah. So this is very important for the BJP, where they are pitted in previous three elections, three phases. Of course, North India was also going to poll, but large portions of South India went to polls. Now, actually, this is very critical phase, and therefore I say when Prime Minister Modi filed his nomination papers in Varanasi and held that grand road show, that also was part of strategy ahead of fourth phase of polling.
Right. Let's talk about Uttar Pradesh then. 13 seats this time around. The SP only got one, and that was the only seat that the opposition camp in its entirety had in this particular phase. For again, it's being said to be a phase where the BJP has been strong, very wide margins of victory in 2014, going up to 4.5 lakh votes. Do you think it's possible for a Mahagathbandhan of the sort that we have in Uttar Pradesh in these present elections to really go, swing the vote to that extent that it might win, the kind of seats that some are projecting it will?
Nobody can actually doubt that that Gathbandhan of SP, BSP and RLD is arithmetically very strong.
It's formidable arithmetically.
Yeah, it's very formidable election. Congress actually nowhere in picture to my assessment.
But it can damage, it can take some votes away.
Except for the two places, Raebareli, Amethi is a very close contest.
But in this phase they're saying Kanpur is there, and there are a couple of other seats as well.
It's always good to be hopeful. After all, you are in politics and you are going to elections, so better be hopeful to keep morale of their cadre and also the leaders high.
Okay. I feel that you feel that it's not much, it's not really in the fight. Even in, with Sri Prakash Jaiswal and Salman Khurshid.
Yeah, they are big names for Congress's sake, but actually what people actually feel, the contest is straight between BJP and Gathbandhan out there. BJP, of course, there is a vast majority of people, Modi to my ground, through my ground coverage, and not just in UP, but to various other states, I found that he has made deep penetration among people in lower strata of society through various schemes that he launched. They see him as a very sincere person who is working day and night to kind of make changes in their life, and that number is very huge. But then you are pitted against this particular coalition whereby two sworn enemies come together, Mayawati and Mulayam Singh sharing same stage, Dimple Yadav touching Mayawati's feet and she calling her Bahu, and then there is people say that Modi hai to mumkin hai, because of Modi this has now been made possible. They were faced with existential kind of crisis, but then this is politics. People are actually going to weigh, decide. Some people are going to vote on caste lines, some on wider national appeal, some for on actual issues out there, local issues, but more and more people will actually see that this as a national election, an election which is going to be fought and won to make somebody as prime minister or remove somebody as prime minister. Essentially, to my mind, this election is about Modi ko rakho ya Modi hatao, Modi ko banao ya Modi hatao, and therefore that narrative changes. So therefore, UP actually is critically poised, is being talking point, because UP will actually decide BJP's number, where BJP's number is going to go.
True, and you could say the same for Maharashtra, and all the seats have now been polled. The 48 seats, of which 42 were with the NDA, have been polled. There were quite a few in this phase. The maximum, in fact, in this phase was for Maharashtra, 17 of them.
Yeah, Maharashtra BJP and Shiv Sena made tremendous gains last time. Fact remains that BJP and Sena came together. There was assessment that BJP individual numbers may go slightly up if they contested separately, but fact remains ultimately they came together and are contesting election as one entity, as one kind of coalition bloc, and subsequently the bonhomie that you saw in Banaras and also in Gandhinagar between Uddhav Thackeray and Amit Shah and Modi and Uddhav Thackeray, and then sharing dais in Mumbai. And therefore, that election, I think Sena, BJP on one side, NCP and Congress and some other partners on other side, is kind of very interesting. Maharashtra has huge number of 48 seats, and therefore I think the last numbers BJP had there with Modi's charisma. Remember, the only problem, one of the biggest handicap which opposition has, it has no clear leader for the center. Sometimes Sharad Pawar talks about he is still not talking despite being partner of
no, he's counted himself
he's not
out,
talking Rahul Gandhi as prime minister nominee
in the race at all. He says that if I'm just contesting a handful of seats, I can't expect to be made prime minister. So
no, but then he also leaves that part open.
Yeah,
for the others to decide.
And what about Rajasthan? Because we've seen in assembly it remains at swing state, but you think in parliamentary elections, 13 seats this time around from Rajasthan, it will have a clear choice this time around, or would it be a mixed bag, bringing in a bit of Congress as well, in line with what happened in the assembly elections?
See, Rajasthan has a pattern of voting decisively in favor of one party in parliamentary election. And last time BJP had 25 out of 25. In these elections, when I was covering assembly elections there, I have not gone there during parliamentary, since the run-up of parliamentary elections started. During those times, I met several persons in different parts of Rajasthan who were clear in their mind that they are going to vote for Congress in assembly elections, but at the same time, they were also very clear come parliamentary election and they would vote for BJP to make, or Kamal or Phool or whatever, to make Modi prime minister again, and that part I think was very, very clear. So I don't think Rajasthan is going to, you are going to see much changes in Rajasthan when actual results come in.
Okay, since we're on the subject of Rajasthan, Vishal Baristo is joining us from Jodhpur, which in itself was seeing a very keen contest with the son of the Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot in the race, and the reports that we were getting, Vishal, even from you, is that he was up against quite a formidable candidate on the other side as well, and Jodhpur could mirror what might happen in the entire state of Rajasthan.
Well, a very good evening to you.
Good evening.
Yes, Sun City had a son, and the son was hogging all the limelight because Congress was very much confident, and in fact appeared very much confident rather, and Ashok Gehlot, because of Ashok Gehlot, who thought that Jodhpur could be a safe seat, but I tell you that it is going to be a very tight contest between Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, who had an excellent victory with a margin of 4 lakh plus votes. So it's going to be an interesting contest here in Jodhpur. Now, I was hearing your conversation with Sanjay Singh, who has also been my colleague earlier, and yes, there has been a pattern.
We've all been colleagues, that's a coincidence.
The assembly also wins the Lok Sabha, but Yes, yes, absolutely. So now, as you said that it's also a blue city, so it could turn blue to for someone, because this election it's quite different, because though Congress managed to win the assembly elections, but in Lok Sabha it's a different contest, and it's altogether a different scene. Because one face has been very dominant, and that is the face of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And despite Congress expecting and anticipating a big victory in Rajasthan, it appears that this time Congress is not in that commanding position as it had been previously in previous elections, because I've been covering elections in Rajasthan for almost 2 decades now. But this time it's going to be a different picture for Congress. But yes, even if it wins one single seat, then it is going to be a gain for Congress, because last time it could manage only a big duck, 0.
Well, that is true, but let's bring in Yogesh Sheetal from Mumbai, from Worli, which is part of the Tony South Mumbai, Mumbai South Lok Sabha seat, and it's always been talked about, Yogesh, the kind of turnout that the 6 seats in Mumbai, especially Mumbai South, delivers. And this time around, what does it really look like? There was a lot of stardust to be seen, and if I was a fan of Bollywood movies, I would definitely go out and vote, just to catch a glimpse of my favorite stars. But that is not a sentiment, it seems, shared by a lot of people in those seats, in the 6 seats.
Good evening, Gautam. You're right. Just rightly you have pointed out that there are many celebrity candidates in Mumbai, all the 6 constituencies, and also if you just larger perspective, like Greater Mumbai, there are around 10 constituencies which cover like Palghar, Kalyan, Thane. There are other constituencies apart from Mumbai. As far as voter turnout is concerned, urban apathy had been a concern since long time in Mumbai and also the metropolitan city, because generally we see that people are stuck in 24/7 around the clock life, and basically they are waiting for a breather. And some of them believe that this is a day where they can enjoy with their family, they can just take it as a leave. So this is one of the regions, election commissions and also different organizations and NGOs were working over time to just remove the mindset, and there are many campaigns that have been launched. Some restaurants offer different kind of discounts for them. So this is the reality we have been witnessing here in Mumbai. As far as voter turnout is concerned, the situation in 2009 we had seen around 41% voting hit, and in 2014 we had seen around 52. It means 10% increase. So the anti-incumbency and pro-incumbency equations and the analysis that was being made in your studio, that is true. That is completely applicable to Mumbai like city. Apart from that, there are 17 seats. There are 17 seats all over the Maharashtra which are in the fray today. This is the last phase. See, one thing also I would like to underline. As far as traditionally we have been seeing here in BJP Shiv Sena versus Congress NCP. But this time what new thing emerged, this time it's a Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi. So this has made the entire battle very interesting, and politically it's a very you can say a very different kind of taste we are witnessing as far as election is concerned. So is this time, as we also saw that in last election all 17 seats were captured by BJP Shiv Sena. Now it remains to be seen that what happens after the result, but one thing very interesting, that Nandurbar and Dindori, there are 2 constituencies which are reserved for ST candidates. Large number of voting turned place, around 60% voting, and these 2 constituencies where Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, held the rallies. So definitely it is very interesting. Definitely it is a mystery that what remains to be seen. This is a suspension. That is the beauty of our democracy. So we should wait that what happens. But entire thing is very peaceful and very comfortably happened in Maharashtra.
That is of course the biggest and the best part of the elections there. At least I'd like you to stay on with us for a little while longer. Sanjay Singh, a quick word about West Bengal as well. 8 seats up for grabs, and we know that the BJP has been pushing hard at Mamata Banerjee. Today the Prime Minister also warned her about her MLAs just waiting in the wings, so to speak, after the 23rd of May. But we saw how contentious things got as well. Babul Supriyo, his car got damaged. There was an FIR also against him, and Munmun Sen also got panned, his opposing candidate in Asansol, for saying that she can't really say about what happened, the violence and all, because she didn't get any bed tea.
Two things were violence, talk of violence, bogus voting is being talked about, and there are actual reportage where you actually saw Babul Supriyo's car vandalized and he himself being targeted to verbal abuse. And on previous occasions we have seen that where people actually voted and did not have that indelible ink on their fingers, and also those who appeared there and their votes had already been cast. So the situation is slightly different in West Bengal than with rest of the country. And now when polling was taking place, in fact it was curious coincidence, or I think that was a planned strategy on part of Prime Minister Modi and BJP to have two rallies of him in West Bengal. And one thing you'll have to give that much of credit to Narendra Modi, that he has this unique ability to swing some narrative in his favor where he is targeted or abused or something otherwise is being said about. That Rasgulla, Mamta's argument, Mamta's statement, Mamta Banerjee's statement that Rasgulla filled with mud and stone would be sent to Modi this time from now on from Bengal, and that he swung as to if she's trying to send water fortune whereby get soil of land of Vivekanand, Ramchandra Paramahans, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, Syama Prasad Mukherjee, and he went on and also talked about those stone chips. And then saying Delhi to bahut dur hai, Delhi to bahana hai, bhatije ko yahan bithana, that kind of rhetoric. And he
does have a knack of making these beautiful attempts at making brickbats into bouquets, but we'll have to wait and see how the battle really goes because there are 3 more phases left, although more than 66% of the seats have been polled, 374 to be exact out of 543. For the moment, thank you for joining us in the studio, Sanjay Singh, and our 2 reporters out there bearing the heat, bringing us all the updates through the day as well. Thank you for joining me this evening on Newsnight. We're taking a quick break right here on the show. Stay tuned for more.
Informative, incisive, intensive. Get your daily dose of news and analysis in English News.